Yeah.
Hey,
Hi.
Liz.
I think we're on. Okay.
Okay, all right, guys. I messaged Liz, and we have a really good promotion for people who want to join as a consultant. And we were just talking about when we were joining as a consultant, and all the questions we had. So I made Liz come on so I can do a sort of quasi interview with her and
Yeah.
talk
I'm gonna
about.
interview you right back.
Yep. And we're just going to talk about what it means to join Beauty Counter, our experience, all that fun stuff. So I think we should just dive right in. Liz, why'd you join
Yep.
Beauty Counter?
Well, I think that answer evolves over time for most people. So I joined Beauty Counter about 2.5 years ago. At the time, I had a 2-year-old and a 2-month-old. So some could say that was a bad time to join, but there is no bad time to join. And I really just like needed something else, like going back to a traditional job in an office was not like, that was not an option at the time with 2 small kids. But I needed something that was for me, and I really loved the products. And then I'm watching other people seemingly have success at something like this, and I was like, well, why not me? Like, why can't I do that too? So I thought, I'm gonna give it a go. And like, what if I fall flat on my face? Like, I think it may have been the postpartum hormones that I was like on a high. And I just
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
even.
Jack was 2 months old. That is not an easy time.
I didn't even think
And you
about
had John, who was like, what, 2?
it. He was 2. Yeah, 2.5. Yeah. And so at the time, I liked the mission. I liked the products. I kind of wanted something to do. And I was also really struggling to meet people. I had recently moved, and I thought, oh, this will, like, I don't know, maybe give me like a social outlet too. I wasn't really sure how that worked because I didn't know how the business worked. But now, fast forward, I am like in this for the long haul, because now what keeps me going and what my why is that I'm here to change history. Like, I'm here to, I get chills actually all over my body when I think about my kids being adults and saying, like, do you know when we were little, like, you could just put whatever you wanted on your body. Like, you could put heavy metals on your body, like little baby diaper rash cream could be like affecting like babies' hormones, and that was totally fine. And like, my mom was part of this group of people that changed that and made that illegal. And like, I get chills all over my body thinking about it, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna leave a legacy for my kids, and I'm getting paid to do it. Like, I would be like a volunteer for this company, right? But now I'm like,
totally.
The pay is definitely like helps that like kind of competitive side with me, like competitive with myself. It helps me, like, because also like this mission is so far in the future. Like, the paycheck each month is like one step closer, like, it's that little reward, like the little carrot, right?
Keeps you going.
Because it could be a very, very long time.
Right.
Hopefully not, right? But it could be, 10, 20 years before marked change is there. Could be 2 years. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, so that's my why now. What's yours?
Well, my why was more of like a health journey, but also like when you started, well, I went to your launch pop-up, like right when you started, your very first pop-up ever. And I remember thinking, wow, that company's so cool. They're like, I need to go home and check all my products. They probably suck. I knew nothing about clean. I used like Origins and Clinique and whatever. Like, I didn't really, I wasn't using serums or, I wasn't at the point yet where I was like really, cared about that stuff yet. And then I got really, really sick, and like with my lungs, and they found out our house was contaminated with mold and formaldehyde. And that's when I just started this like clean journey. And as I started that clean journey, I remember just like watching you on Instagram, and you were never pushy, but I think Instagram, yes, but also I was in your Facebook VIP group. And I think that's when you get like really raw and like really share. I mean, you get raw on Instagram too. Let's be honest. You can wash your face drunk in front of
No
me.
filter.
Yeah. But like, I just remember following you and like you were helping me swap for clean without knowing it. And I reached out to you and I thought, you know, like I need to switch over to clean. And then I thought like, well, maybe I could do business, you know, like, and we went to dinner and talked about it. And I did it because I had a health scare that I wanted to fix myself, but then saw what you were doing with the business and thought like how amazing if I could do that too, if I could change what other people are using. And I think being a teacher and like having that education passion that I have in my background of like teaching, I still get my teaching fix through Beautycounter. It's just in a different way. It's not with 5-year-olds. Although my 6-year-old knows more about like clean ingredients now than probably most 6-year-olds. Like she can look at ingredients and know like, oh, that has the F word in it, fragrance. So they're like my biggest cheerleaders. My why has continued to just grow from there, but like my health has never been better than it is today. I mean,
yeah, you look so much more vibrant. Like you look healthy from the inside out.
Thanks. Yeah, I was not healthy. Like 2 years after the twins were born, it was just like, and I think that like the business also has given me life back in terms of just, I mean, like I love being a mom. Don't get me wrong. I love it, but that's all I was. Like that is like my day in and day out, which was very time consuming. I did not think I had time for this, but you find time, you make it work, you embed it into your everyday. And if it just becomes, I remember you said once, you're like, eventually you'll just like eat, sleep and breathe Beautycounter. Like it's just, you don't really work. It's just a part of you. And I remember there was a point where I'm like, oh, this is what Liz meant. Like it is just, it's not like, how do you talk about Beautycounter? I'm like, how do you?
Yeah. And I'd say that like has been part of my why over the last 2.5 years too, that's evolved, was I knew I kind of needed something for myself, but I didn't really realize how lost I was for myself from being just mom.
Right.
And some people are able to thrive being just mom. I was not.
Yeah.
And
I was surviving.
a lot less than thriving. And I was like, I don't even know what I like anymore. Like I don't know what I've lost all my hobbies. I've lost a lot of my friends, like not lost friends, but like, you know, if you have 2 kids and someone has 0 kids and you live in different cities, like, I don't know, it's hard. Right. And Beautycounter also, a way that it fulfilled my life that I did not see coming was I now have a connection to everyone, like age and gender aside, right? Like I have something that we can all like share and talk about and like kind of give back to each other, right? So like now my conversation before were just with like moms of young kids, because I was like, I'm literally like a one-dimensional person, right? Like I don't have anything to contribute.
Right.
And now I'm like,
identity.
I was like, now I'm like, oh, I can talk about other things.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I remember when I reached out to you, or you reached out to me, or I don't know how it happened, but we went to dinner to talk about Beautycounter. And so for those of you watching, Liz and I have known each other for 22, 3 years. I mean, like
high school, like since we were like 18.
Oh, so not that long, but long. Okay. So, I mean, not 23 years, because let's not age ourselves here, but well, maybe, wait, it might be 23 years.
Maybe. Okay. Well, whatever.
Okay. Anyways. Okay. But we've known each other forever. And something about Liz and I's relationship that I think is important to understand is that like, no matter how much time has gone by, whenever we would call each other, even if it was like maybe like once every few months, like no time passed. We've always had this like bond or connection where like we're just, I don't know, this like sisterly thing. So
but we were not always like chit-chatting every day.
No,
like there were years that we didn't see each other or talk.
Yeah, like and And now I don't think if I go like 3 days without talking to you, I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So Liz and I went to dinner and I wanted to talk about Beauty Counter and she knew that. And so I literally came with a notepad and I had written down maybe like 200 questions.
Oh my God.
So many questions. I remember you at one point being like, no one has like really asked me all these, but you answered them.
Good
like,
exercise.
But you answered them so authentically. You are so real when you talk to people about this. And that's what I loved. And that's why I wanted to get you on this call, because I think that there is something to being transparent and answering the hard questions that people are afraid to ask. And so I am going to ask you, we're going to answer some common questions that people have when we say, like, are you ready to join us? Are you ready to do this? Because people have a lot of questions.
And before you start, I think one thing that's important is that, like, I'm not trying to like sell you on this. Like, it does nothing for me to like get you involved in something that you want no part of.
You want to do. Yeah.
What my goal is in talking to everyone that I talk to about this is to help them find the way, to help them find the answer for themselves. Right. And so of course I want to answer the questions, honestly. Like I said, making someone do something they don't want to do is like, that's not my,
well, and then honestly, like the nice thing about this, and we'll get to that question, like if you sign up and don't do anything, like nothing really happens. Right. But like why even go through, like you got to figure out how this works for you, like.
All right. So
okay, ready? All right. What makes Beauty Counter different from those other companies?
Well, the biggest thing is that we're a mission-based company. Shit going off in your house. So we're a mission-based company. So our mission is to get safer products into the hands of everyone. Our mission isn't to like push Beauty Counter products or to, do whatever. Like we're a mission-based company. Our mission is to change legislation so that there are more health protective laws for stores, so that products in stores at CVS and Sephora are all safe. So that is a huge difference, right? Like someone kind of said this the other day, and I thought that was really, it was really interesting. There's a lot of other like direct sales companies, and I'm just like kind of sometimes wondering like, what's the end game with that? Like, right? Like, are you, and I shop a lot of those, right? I want to support the people that are doing that, but like, is that something that you can do for an extended period of time? Because there's not a lot of depth sometimes. So, and it's fun, whatever, if you're selling something that's fun and, and brings some joy to people, but we're not serious, right? We're talking about makeup still, but we have a serious cause. So that's really different. I think that the compensation plan is also, you think we're just selling lipstick, you're not paying attention. That's right. So the other thing that's different is the compensation plan. I don't know. I
know a few other ones, but not.
Oh, you do?
Only because I've had friends join Beauty Counter who worked previously for another marketing
direct sales company. Yeah.
And they just shared with me like how pleasantly surprised they were by how well and transparent our compensation plan was compared to others. And listening to like what some other companies have to do, like there is like, what do you have to lose for some other companies? Like there's a lot you could lose, but for ours, I think it's so straightforward that like, you really have nothing to lose.
Yeah. I think we're the most lucrative, but also our compensation plan is set up like any other sales job, right? And so like you're rewarded on your own efforts. You can't just like build a team and then just like kick back and rake in the money. It doesn't work like that. Like you literally just will not get paid for more than your work.
Like if I sell nothing, if I sell $0, I make $0.
Right. That said, if you build, if you have a team, just like if you were the, director of the West, like sales, whatever, like you make money when your team does well, right? So like if you are an excellent mentor in developing people, then then yeah, you're rewarded on the time and effort you've spent on doing that. You still make a lot more money on your own business.
Okay, so I'm going off script because we had some questions here, but it's bringing up something. So this is when someone who, this is a question I would have asked. Doesn't that make it a pyramid scheme if you're making money off of the people under you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what a pyramid scheme is. I know a pyramid scheme is illegal, but I think a pyramid scheme is when you do nothing but recruit people.
Exactly. Yes.
And then you don't have to do anything.
Right. And so we're not a pyramid scheme.
A pyramid scheme is like, that's like what Amway was, right?
Well, and also a pyramid scheme, so like, let's say someone joins on your team and they buy a bunch of product and then you're making money, like, and sell a bunch of product, you're making money out of their paycheck, right? Like they're having to pay you. Like we don't get paid from our team. Headquarters gives us a bonus for mentoring well that month. And that change, that lump sum amount changes every month. If we all do really poorly one month, we're all not going to get paid, right?
Yeah.
So we don't get paid from them. Like headquarters gives us the bonus.
Right. Okay, let's go. We have so many more questions and we're having much time.
I don't know anything about clean or safe or even products. That was me.
And that's great. There's, I mean, we're not, as consultants, are safer beauty advocates. That's all we are. Like, I am not a makeup artist. Like, I can guarantee you no one is coming to me for makeup tips. Like,
I am.
There's one person. We're not makeup artists. We're not dermatologists. We're not estheticians. There are some of those people within the organization that we all lean on for.
And our larger team has some of those people on it, which is nice.
Specifically a lot of those people on our team. I mean, we have an esthetician on our team. We have people in public health on our team. We do have makeup artists on our team. And so they give us tips, but we're safer beauty advocates. So if you don't know anything, that's okay.
Right. And you'll learn as you go. Like I didn't know anything about ingredients when I started. Yeah. And I started doing those. I do like a Fact Friday. Well, sometimes life gets a little busy sometimes, but yeah. So I try to do, like, at the beginning especially, I was very diligent about every Friday I would do a fact about ingredients. And I did all the research, I found the documentation. And by doing that, I learned so much about ingredients and like the access that we have to ingredient education, to like how to swap clean. I mean, Lindsay Dahl, our director of social mission.
She's our SVP of social mission. Yeah.
Yeah. So she is literally like, if I just following her on Instagram, you're not just going to learn about ingredient knowledge for your makeup or like what we're selling. You're going to learn about like, mattresses and clothing and I mean, everything. I mean, like,
but to be clear, like you don't have to do those Fact Fridays. Like the Beauty Counter has plenty of training.
Because mine was, I'm like on this health journey. I was like, I can't swap fully to clean if I don't understand what clean is. Yeah. So for me personally,
But Beauty Counter has all those trainings that you have access to.
Yeah, and before, like I said, hadn't never used a serum, and now I can't live without them. Really?
Yeah.
I don't get this glow overnight. Not doing anything. Okay. How much time does the business take? So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm too busy.
Yeah. And I mean,
3 kids. I was like, I'm too busy. I don't have time for this.
Yeah. And I would say like, we're all busy. I love the like busy martyr. Like no one's ever been busier than me, blah, 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 which is whatever. That's fine. Everyone has their own threshold of what they can take. However, this is something like for me, right? I care about this and it fits so seamlessly into my life that it's not like I'm clocking in and clocking out. There are times when I tell, Eric, like, hey, I need like an hour, right? This might be like once a month to like check my email or something, like I just need people not in my face for an hour. But I mean, I'm taking this from someone else, but it applies to me too. But like everyone brings their phone into the bathroom, right? Like, or like, that's where, if I'm texting you, it's very possible. It's from the preschool It's very possible it's from the preschool parking lot or the loo.
Totally. Or the bathroom.
Yeah. So,
hey, we said we were going to be honest and transparent.
Yeah, I know. So it really is
what business can you be like, hold on. Okay.
So it really does fit in like the nooks and crannies of your life, and it doesn't it doesn't like take additional time because it's really seamless, right? Like if I'm on the phone with a friend or out to dinner with a friend or on a play date or something, it very naturally comes up. And what have you been up to? Oh, I've been up to this.
Like people when they ask how much time does a business take, it doesn't look the same for everybody.
Totally.
We all have different networks. We all have different like thresholds of busy. So like you and I wanted to build a business. So our time is going to look very different from someone who may just like want it as like a side hustle, right? Just like
but most people on my team have full-time jobs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And so they are, so they're working it in when they can.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like this clocking in, clocking out. It feels like, oh, I'm texting my girlfriends, or DMing on Instagram or whatever.
Okay. Next question people ask. I'm not a salesperson. I don't think I can sell anything.
That's great. We do not want salespeople.
Yeah. I've worked sales in my life.
Everyone has been approached by an icky direct marketing person or, a gross salesperson that's made you feel really uncomfortable. And we don't want that. Like we are safer beauty advocates. We're educators first. So we are teaching what we are learning,
right.
Sometimes in real time. And we don't know everything. One, because you couldn't possibly, and two, it's always changing. So we are just sharing. We are information sharers and clean beauty advocates. We're not salespeople.
Right. And on that note, a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to work social media. I remember telling you, like at the very beginning, I was like, I'm not going to do pop-ups. Remember this?
Everyone says that.
I'm not going to post on social media. I think that's all I said, right? And I was like, and I don't want to put out my friends and family. Yeah. And you were like, so you want it for the discount then? Like, but you were like, you don't have to like, like it is what it, you have to figure out what works for you. Now, like pop-ups are my favorite thing ever. Like I love the education behind them. I think they're so invigorating and fun. I post on social media all the time, but I think at the beginning I was like, oh, I don't want to come across as salesy but I'm not blindly messaging people like, hey, want to buy some beauty counter or whatever? Like people know that I sell it. I mean, they know, right? And I just figure I'm educating through my social media avenues. And if someone is inspired by that and wants to swap for clean, they know I'm here to help. Like I'm here to help. So
you're working on a window lighting issue.
But a lot of people like say that too, like, oh, I don't want to post on social media.
Yeah.
I don't know enough people.
Yeah, and to that I would say like, what's not enough people? Like, what is it like? You don't think it's worth it if you told 5 people about Safer? Mm-hmm. You don't think it's worth it unless you tell 1,000 people about Safer? Like, we are like, I don't know what it like. I'm losing my words, but like, the information is passing through us, right? Like we're kind of learning it and passing it through. So is it like not worth it? Like what is the threshold of knowing people?
Well, and also your clients aren't just people that you know forever. Like I have a ton of clients that I have met through BeautyCounter. So like,
I have a ton of clients I've never met.
Yeah. Like your friend hosts a pop-up for you and you share clean beauty with 10 people. Yeah. You don't know those 10 people. And now, you're communicating. And like, I have actually built friendship. I mean, I have people on my team that I have never met that maybe joined with someone else. And now I consider them like a very good friend.
Yeah. And they turn out, hi, bye.
That's, okay, that's good.
I had a bad lighting situation. Sorry.
So anyway, so I feel like you don't realize how many people you can.
Yeah, everyone knows
connect
more
with.
people than you think, and you're always meeting new people too.
Right.
But again, if our mission is to share safer beauty, like, wouldn't that be a shame if
Real
you
life.
thought, hi Ellie, wouldn't it be a shame if like you didn't share with people because you, like, people missed out on valuable information that could change their life because you didn't think you knew enough people? Like, that would be a real shame.
Sorry about that. Sorry. I don't, she asked a question. Okay, sorry. Are we, next question?
Yeah.
I was a little distracted on that. I hope everyone got that.
I'm waiting for kids to come barreling down this hall.
But this is it. This is what we're talking about, like real life, right? Like kids are going to come in, like, I mean, there's training calls where people are breastfeeding. It just happens.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm worried about my, oh, this is a good one. I'm worried about what my friends will think.
Yeah. And to that, I would say,
in the beginning,
I would say, what do you think they're going to think? Like, I think some of these things we get like spinning in our head.
Mm-hmm.
And when we actually stop and ask ourselves, like, are my friends going to think that I'm stupid, or that I'm like desperate for money, or that like they have to buy something from me? Like, what is that thought that you're really having? And I know that there's like a workaround for that. Like we were saying this before, like neither of us have lost one friend.
Yeah.
In fact, we've gained a ton.
Yeah. And like your launch pop-up, I bought nothing at that pop-up, but like I got so much information. Look where I am today because of that. If I had never gone to that pop-up, I would never have joined Beauty Counter. Like, I don't know what it is really, you know, like, and
like, again, we are safer beauty advocates. We are trying to be helpful. Oh, jeez.
Yes, we're trying to be helpful.
No, right? Gus is barking at a squirrel, or my family's home and about to like come barreling down the hallway. I think the latter. So we're trying to be helpful to people, right? Like we're trying to give them information that could better their life and their health. And so if like your friends aren't down for that, like I don't see that as a possible situation, right?
Yeah.
And I have plenty of friends that have never bought. I have plenty of friends that have never bought anything from me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. You know, I have one friend, like, Beauty Counter is totally out of her price range, right? Like we're a high-end beauty brand, and she has switched everything to clean at Walmart and TJ Maxx, where she shops, with the tools that I gave her. And that, oh my gosh, I just like get chills all over my body. Like I love that she pays attention and she cares. Mm-hmm. And this is what it's about, right?
And that's where it goes back to the mission. Like, I think people put so much pressure on themselves. Like, seriously, if you sell nothing and just sell the idea of going clean, you're going to change somebody's outlook in the industry. Yes. Like, you could literally not make any money and still make a huge impact. So it's like, whatever you want to make this, you have the ability to do that, whether it's for your own discount or whatever, a full-time business. I mean, the possibilities are endless here. So, I mean, I think friends are supportive of us. That's why they're our friends, you know, like, how much does it cost to join? Are we ready?
Right now, $20.20. Today's, what's the date? It's the 22nd, right?
Yeah.
So today is November 22nd. So today's the last day to sign up for $20.20.
Yeah.
Normally it's $98 to sign up, and you get like a bunch of marketing materials and a few products with that,
and swag,
and a website,
a bag, and a
And then during COVID times, it was dropped down to $50 with a digital kit, because people are in a position that they need a job. And so we're trying to make that accessible. And same with this 2020 promotion, is we are trying to give people the opportunity to start a business at the lowest entry possible. You do not have to buy products. it's fantastic if you do, because they're, and if you love the products, then you definitely should, because they're at like a 42% discount when you join. And then you have stuff to share with people, right?
Yeah, like if you're, I remember when you were like, well, so we have these kits. This is the thing about Beauty Counter that's also different from other companies. You don't have to buy a kit. You can just pay the $20 and you're in. But you were like, I was like, okay, so I'm going to get a kit. But yeah, it's kind of if you want to have this as a business, it's kind of hard to sell something you've never tried. Like if I'm going to go somewhere and be like,
wait,
oh my God,
but hold on.
Counter time. Do you like it? Well, I don't know. I don't use it.
When you joined though, important to know.
I didn't use anything.
You had never used a Beauty Counter product ever.
And I bought the largest kit. I remember coming home and being like, okay, Dave, I think I spent like $1,000 when I joined. Hello, people, look at the difference now. I think that's what I spent, but also I wanted to swap everything over to clean. And so it was the best way to get it. But
you you were so sold on the mission.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it my business. And I remember you were the one that, like what you said, you didn't pressure me to get any kit at all, but the way that you
probably would have told you to scale back a bit, actually.
Well, and the way you worded it though, I was like, yeah, like I can't sell something if I haven't ever used it. And so I wanted like all of our like skincare lines. And I made the money back in less than a month.
Yeah, we joke that it's like, it's kind of hard to have a store with no product in it, right? Like, it's really helpful. You know, or with someone's like, how do you like the body lotion? And you're like, well, I hear it smells like this. Like, that's not super inspiring. Yeah, like it's not super inspiring to. And
I think that's also where I've seen people who like don't have any of the products maybe don't sell as much. And this is me just this isn't me saying like you have to buy products to do this, right? I'm just saying, I think that the products that people actually have and love are their best sellers because they're sharing it. That's what I mean. It's like they're sharing it authentic. Like I use Counter Time every single day. I use Albright's Tea Serum every single morning. I will talk your ear off about how amazing those products are and why you should invest in your skin because I have the personal experience with them. Like, I don't use Counter Match every day. People love Counter Match. I'm like, it's okay.
And the opposite of that would be that I'm sure I have a lot of clients that don't even know we sell lipstick because I am not a lipstick person. And so I don't talk about lipstick that much, even though it is really important.
Those lip shears, like I'm not a lipstick person either, but those new lip shears.
Yeah, I do like mine.
With the magnetic. Okay, sorry. Anyways, I digress.
But yeah, I don't, you talk, whatever you love, it just comes right through you, right?
Well, and you have to share authentically. So, I mean, you know, but it's also, you don't have to get a kit. Let's say you want Counter Time, right? Then sign up for $20, buy Counter Time at 25% off and sell the you-know-what out of it.
Except that you could get it and another skincare set and more stuff for only like 150 more. Yeah.
I know. Okay. Well, and also, really quick, we also have Klarna now. So we have this program. You can sign up. So let's say you want to buy a kit for the $500 mark or whatever, or go for me and buy the $750 one and add a Flawless and 5. But Klarna basically will let you do no interest payments up to 4 payments every 2 weeks. And so it comes to $120 every 2 weeks or something to get one of the larger kits. So, I mean, they work with you to make it happen. Okay. What if I don't sell anything? What happens to me?
Yeah. What if? I mean, I love like throwing that back at
question, and you always do that. I was like, no, I'm asking you, what if?
I know, and I'm like, what?
Nothing.
Okay, so like, I mean, like literally, what if you don't sell anything? Then you just go back to being a customer, and and you're just my customer.
Well, and to get a little more detailed on that, you have to sell or buy or sell of your own stuff or sell $1,250 every 6 months. $1,200.
Yeah.
Every 6 months. And if you don't.
Which is $200 a month, which is about 1.5 customers a month.
Yeah. And also if some clients I have spend way more than that themselves. So like if you spend $600 like one day, and $600 6 months later, or 5.5 months later, you've hit it. So, but I mean, but if you don't the 1,200, then you just become a Band of Beauty member. Like there's no penalty. You don't have to buy a thing. Like if you get 1.5 clients,
Greg's not going to come like knocking on your door. That's like, so you compressed, huh? Like, what's that about? Like, no, nobody's.
And I've had people on my team sell nothing and compress, not hit that $1,200 mark, and they just paid the enrollment fee and signed back up for the discount. Like there's really no, like, there's no downside. There's no monthly quotas. You don't have to buy the products and sell the products you buy. Like they buy off a website. It's so different.
Yeah.
Can you actually make money doing this?
Yes. Yes, if you treat this like a business, it will pay you like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. If you treat it like the ugly stepsister, it'll pay you like an ugly stepsister. Yeah. So, I mean, that is kind of.
Oh no, we lost you.
Of being your own boss with no overhead is that, you can like, lean in and pull back, right? Like there have been times where I was like, I just like can't, I'm not
like January's.
I'm not myself, or what? The January's.
Like January's.
Yeah. Or like if I pushed really hard one month and then I'm like kind of Better Beauty burnout,
Well, I remember March.
I need like 2 weeks to recover.
I remember March, the day that they closed Ellie's school, those first 2 weeks, I didn't touch, totally was like, I need to just survive right now.
For sure.
But it was there for me. Like, and I had built my business up enough that actually I still got orders those 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I call them order while you sleep. Like you wake up, you're like, oh, good. I'm glad, but like, that's because I have really amazing, loyal customers that love this just as much as I do, but I didn't work at all.
Right. And there have been times like that too. And for me, and the beauty is that no one's coming to like, I'm not your boss. I'm not your superior. I'm your friend and, your mentor. And so if you say like, Liz, I'm burnt out, I'm sick, I don't care, like I can't get my head in the game, like I'll probably show up at your door with dinner and not be like, well, you need to do that. Like I don't, that's not our relationship, right? So,
I've had people take like 3-4 months off, like not touch it, go stagnant, and then get back into it. Like
life happens,
it's harder to get. I mean, when you go dark or whatever, you got to kind of start over, but you can start over. It's always going to be.
You don't have to start over because the business is there for you, but you got to like work the muscle again. But yeah, that is the beauty of not having like a brick and mortar overhead where you have to like, there are no days off, right? Like it's not like that. There's as many days off as you need.
Right.
I can't even remember what the question was. What was the original question?
To actually make money. And I'm going to say, so when we first sat down for dinner, you asked like what my goal was, how much money did I want to make like in the business? Cause like you ask how much do you have to sell to like make this amount. Yeah. And I remember saying my goal is that I eventually, like when I've been doing this a while, I really want to be able to make $500 a month. Like just $500 a month would allow Dave and I to go on some date nights. Like I could maybe pay for the girls' ballet class, like $500 a month. And we're going to get real because whoever's watching this hopefully is like part of our community, but I'm going to get very real right now. I have never made $500 doing Beauty Counter, meaning I have never made under $500. I have every month since I started made over $500.
That's amazing.
And I mean, I was like a bull from day one. I worked it like a business. Say hi. I worked it like a business. I made it a priority. But like, I think my first month I joined May 19th. So that was the only month I didn't make $500. I made $445 and I worked less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But now that is me. Like, I don't want people to think like, oh, I'm going to make, like thousands of I worked for it.
Well, yeah, what working is in this business
oh my God.
is genuinely sharing the
Totally.
information that you are learning in a way that is impacting other people's lives and other people to move to do better things for their health,
Right.
you know?
I was so motivated by the mission that
Yes.
I had a fire lit under me and let it burn.
You were seeing like crazy results with your skincare. I remember this. You like fell in love with one of the lines and you were telling everyone you knew about it. You were like getting close-ups of your skin and stuff. And it was super inspiring to people that they didn't have to sacrifice effectiveness and luxury for safer beauty. And it was super inspiring, right? But all you were doing was sharing something that you'd found that you loved, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's funny because when I started, I had never tried a product, but I have to say now that I have I think I'm pretty positive I have every single product that we sell. I don't sell it right now. I sell it because I love it. I don't love it because I sell it. Like, and that's why I think I think that's why we are successful in our sales is because we love it so much. We're just authentically, non-apologetically sharing what we love, which we would do with like, I mean, I love, you know, like Lululemon Zips hoodies. Great. Like, I'm like, yeah, I got this at Lulu. I love it. Oh my gosh. Or these Athleta.
Well, the truth is, the like uncomfortable truth is that we're all selling something, right? Like we're all selling
all the time.
Something, whether you like it or not, whether it's a picture of you with like your PSL and, you know, first PSL of the season, like how many posts do you see of that? A couple of years ago, I was like, well, shit, what am I missing? I've never tried a PSL. So what do you know? I go to Starbucks and get a PSL because all you people on the internet.
I was like, what's a PSL? I thought it was like a pumpkin spice. I am way behind.
I saw so many pictures. I was starting calling it by its, you know, by its nickname.
Yeah.
But here I am trying something that I've never tried because I'm like, well, y'all love this so much. I got to figure out what it is. And so, you know, you guys all sold me on pumpkin spice lattes, right? So yeah, we are all selling something and sometimes we're, you know, selling things that aren't so great too, right? But yeah, so why not get paid for selling something that you love? Like other people are. Yeah. I mean, that's the fact, right?
Totally. And here's the thing, and I think this is a good note to end on. You and I, and don't take this offensively because I'm lumping myself in this, but we are the most ordinary, like, just kind of like, we're very special, but so's a lot of other, like, but we are just very ordinary. Like, we're just
special in our own way. No, and I said this the other day in my Insta story.
There's no magic potion to make this work. Like, we're literally just moms who believe in a mission and want to build a business.
Is someone using the sink at your house?
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. See, this is, can we give people a background? This is what, okay, there's my light. Olivia, hi. This is life. And this is
And here's my setup.
Oh, you gotta show your setup. I just got the selfie light, so I'm getting Liz.
It's two boxes on top of a filing cabinet.
Oh my god! And then you put the blind on top of the box.
Well, I just had pulled them down, you know, mid-interview. But yeah, I said this on my Insta stories the other day. Like I have no special sauce. There's nothing. There's no reason why I can be successful at this and someone else can't. Right. What I will say is that what I do that has contributed to my success, which Beauty Counter will tell you straight from the source and all the trains, is I am consistently showing up.
Yeah, it's consistently show up and share. Yes. Totally.
And so people are like, all right, 2.5 years later, this chick is still really into this
She's
stuff.
Not going anywhere.
Like, what's going on? You know?
I guess I should unmute her and find out what this is about.
Yeah.
Like me too. When people are like the social media thing, I'm like, if people want to mute me, like, go ahead. Like I'm sharing my family and Beauty Counter, the two things I love. Like,
yeah,
I'll be here. I'll be here when you come back.
Totally. Well, this was really fun.
Yes, this is good.
I'm wondering how long we talked for, because I was hoping it would be like 10 minutes, but my guess is it was like 25.
No. Well, I'll stop recording and we'll find out. But anyways, this was great. And for $20, just do it. Like,
yeah,
this is the time to do it.
Oh, wait, I have one more thing to say.
Is blowing up.
I have one more thing to say.
Yeah.
That when I started, my husband and Eric and I were on a super duper budget, and I had cash on. I would go to the bank at the beginning of the month and take cash out and have cash in different envelopes. We had a clothing envelope, a grocery store envelope, pet needs, kid needs, whatever. Entertainment envelope was usually empty. We had no extra money for that. And we were on a crazy budget. And I was like, Eric, I want to do this. And I want to spend about $700 to sign up. And he was like, Liz, you take cash to the grocery store. Like, what are you talking about? Like, there's no way you're going to do this. And I was like, please, I think, like, just trust me on this one. I think I can do it. And so I took money out of our savings account, and then I had to pay back. And it took me about 6 weeks to pay it back. And then I got to open my own bank account and have my own money. And I never heard from him again about it. Actually, I'm hearing now, like, where's your paycheck?
I know.
Yeah, where's that paycheck?
I get a lot of high fives on the 10th. Dave's like, yeah. Like,
yeah.
I remember in the beginning too, he was like, just trust me. Like,
yeah. So, I mean, my goal as a mentor is to always have people make their money back as soon as possible, preferably within a month or 6 weeks, 2 months max.
Yeah.
But you gotta trust me.
Yeah, you gotta. I know. I did everything you told me to do. Like, that's why I think I was so successful. You said jump, I said how high. Like,
and that's what I did too.
You set goals for me. You set dates for me. You took the guesswork out of how to launch the business.
Right.
And I think that's what I love about mentoring is like just the teamwork. And I mean, I still like will Vox you and be like, what color skin twinge?
Yeah. Totally. Okay, we should wrap it up because
okay, I'm gonna stop recording. But thanks everyone for watching.